Well, I can tell the cinnamon roll fans that watched the previous video, they got selective hearing because I even stated in that video that Alabama has been paying players for years and they've been buying them Camaro since 2008. Make it make sense. I just think it's the cinnamon roll fans, they're upset. And I get why you're upset. Your program has been irrelevant in the past 10 years. Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, would you take a look at that? It looks like the cinnamon rolls need to get their bread up because today, Alabama, we just flipped one of their recent 4-star commits. You know what they say, get your money up, not your funny up. Alabama, looks like we were the highest bidder. If you couldn't tell, I'm obviously joking, and we'll get to that in just a second. Well, actually, we'll get to it right now. We're jumping straight into this. We ain't doing no intro, none of that. We ain't got time for that, baby. We're jumping straight into it. If you like our content, which is mainly college football content, consider joining our amazing community. If you don't want to, that's cool too. We got to get into this Florida State situation, and I'm sure some of you may or may not know what I'm talking about and referring to. But I'm going to assume a large majority of you do because I posted a video 2 days ago and it had everybody and their mom talking. I'm going to address some of those comments in that video, and I'm going to address what everybody's been tweeting at me and saying nonstop ever since I posted that video. But first things first, I gotta say this. I didn't think twice about that video, and I didn't think it was going to be controversial whatsoever. If you have no idea whatsoever what I'm talking about, go watch this video right here. To make a long story short, just like the title says, a recruit that I know on a personal level, he snitched on Florida State. In that video, I basically tell a story of how a recruit's telling me willingly, I didn't ask him about this, he just randomly said it when we were talking on a phone call, how Florida State is paying him, and this recruit, this isn't a part of NIL, he's not committed there, he's just being recruited by Florida State. And I just stated in the video how I think there's some fishy stuff and shady stuff going on behind the scenes. And in that video, I stated not once, not twice, but numerous times, you can do what you want with that information. If you don't want to believe me and my story, that's cool. And I always like to show facts and evidence to back up my claims and everything I say, but I stated this in the video numerous times. I'm going to say this again. I can't show you screenshots and I can't show you a screen recording or show you a video of me and him having that phone call. And I'm not going over why I can't because it's self-explanatory. If you don't know why, I don't know what to tell you. If I told you who the player was and showed the screenshots and did yada yada yada, not only would he get in trouble, so would I. And oh yeah, by the way, now I'm thinking about it yet again, just like in the previous video. Florida State, cinnamon rolls, if you try to come after me yet again, this video is for entertainment purposes only. Oh man, I gotta protect myself somehow. But anyways, getting on track here, let's check out some of the comments in this video because, like I said, it's controversial. Corey Costa said, I'm gonna make a video on something that every single school has done since the beginning of college football because a recruit didn't go to my school. Ah yes, here we go with that. I even stated this in the video. I don't care where these kids go to school. I don't. And let me speak on this because a lot of comments bring that up saying, oh yeah, Matt's just salty that Alabama didn't land these recent recruits that Florida State got and blah, 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 blah. I can't believe this, man. I shouldn't have to explain myself, but I'll do it yet again. In this 11-minute video you see right here, the entire premise of the video was a phone call, a FaceTime call between me and a recruit. I can't emphasize this enough, and I guess people don't believe me, but I could care less about recruiting. You see this kid right here? He just flipped from Florida State to Alabama today, and I could care less. I don't care. I didn't even know his name until today. Somebody just tagged it to me on Twitter. When I tell you I don't care a single bit about recruiting at the high school level, I mean it. And take a look at this. Somebody commented this in the replies of this kid flipping from FSU. Well, it's not somebody. It's a cinnamon roll fan commented this about the kid flipping Alabama. Well, it's obvious Bama is cheating. That kid only flipped because they gave him a bag. Why hasn't anyone made a YouTube video to expose this? I have an anonymous high school recruit that told me Bama is giving him $83 million just to wear a Roll Tide hat on the bus to his away games. Well, joke's on you, buddy, because that's inaccurate as crap. They're actually giving him $90 million to wear that hat on road away games. It's funny to see Florida State fans overreact and get so mad about what I said in that video when I've even stated everybody's paying these recruits. It is what it is. Let's check out some of these other comments. Matt, you do care because you took the time to make the video. If you didn't care, you would have went on about your day. Yet again, I don't want to repeat myself and sound like a broken record player here, but the entire premise of the video was me sharing a interesting story about some stuff going on in the landscape of college football. But as you can see right here, another comment, LOL, when you can't take it that a kid doesn't want to go to your school. What are you talking about? The entire premise of this video was me sharing a story of a kid who was uncommitted. I just don't understand it. And I guess people are referring to KJ Bolden and Charles Lester, the recent 5 stars to go to Florida State. I guess y'all are trying to say I'm upset about that, but I'm going to keep it real with y'all. I didn't know who KJ Bolden and Charles Lester was until 2 or 3 months ago. The reason I don't care about recruiting is because I'm not going to say it doesn't matter, but I want to see what my team does on the field. You can recruit all the best players in the world, but if you don't develop them and have a great coach and coaching staff and you make the right play calls and do all this during the season, it doesn't amount to a hill of beans. FSU living rent-free in Matt's head. He's bobbing on their balls. I'm going to assume that all these people mad in the comment section are Florida State fans. And let's also address these comments saying, oh, Matt, well, you're kind of giving out way too many details, man. You're dry snitching, you're snitching, blah, 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 blah. No, I'm not dry snitching because everybody knows all these schools in the country, not just Florida State, everywhere in the country are doing this. Y'all can say I'm dry snitching all you want, but notice I didn't even tell you who the player is and you'll never be able to guess it. And there's many more comments I can read, but I do want to address this, and this is the main point I'm making this video. I saw so many people saying, and I had a ton of people tweeting at me, oh, Matt, oh yeah, what about your team, Alabama? Like, y'all ain't never paid players, like y'all ain't never done nothing shady. Well, I can tell these Cinnamon Roll fans that watched the previous video, they got selective hearing, because I even stated in that video that Alabama has been paying players for years, and they've been buying them Camaro since 2008. I'll be the first person to tell you that Alabama's been doing shady stuff since 2008. It's just all under the table and somehow, someway it's not regulated. The bottom line is I don't care what team you root for. If you don't think your favorite team, if you go for like a big time SEC or ACC, Big 12, Pac-12 school isn't doing some shady stuff, you don't live in reality. Every single program out here is doing shady stuff. Now, the degree of shady stuff, that's a different ball game, and that's a gray area. I think when it comes to Alabama, they don't really go all out, whereas Tennessee a couple years ago, yeah, they was doing extremely shady stuff, and that's why they got caught. But as far as it goes for this said Florida State recruit that Florida State is paying bi-weekly, he even called me up after the video, and he was reading some of the comments, and we were laughing about it. Because a lot of people were saying, well, Matt, why would this said recruit tell you that? Because then that'd mess it up for him. They'd quit paying him. And yet again, guess some of y'all got selective hearing. This said recruit isn't even committed to Florida State. It's not like if they tell him in a couple months, hey, we're going to cut you off and we're not going to give you any more checks, it's going to affect his future. He's not committed there. Me sharing that story isn't me being a hater. It's me telling you what's going on. It's the facts. Do some of y'all not remember that Texas A&M was paying players millions? I'm talking about a couple $1 million before they even stepped foot onto a football field. And yet, some people got the nerve to question my credibility when I state that Florida State is recruiting a kid and giving him a couple $1,000s every couple of weeks? So let me get this straight. Y'all are okay with believing that A&M was paying a couple different recruits. It was actually like 10 or 11 different recruits, millions of dollars. Y'all can believe that. But you won't believe Florida State paying a guy a couple $1,000s a month? Come on, man. Make it make sense. I just think it's the Cinnamon Roll fans, they're upset. And I get why you're upset. Your program's been irrelevant the past 10 years. You've been trash, and you have one good year last year, and you're on your high horse. You think you're ready to play with the big boys. You're not. Florida State isn't ready to compete for a championship. They're not even close, and their fans got the nerve to act like they're something when they're not. And the funniest part about all this is the Cinnamon Roll fans that I guess are just now coming to the channel or watch that video and that video alone. I like Florida State. I've stated that I would like for them and Clemson to join the SEC. I don't have a problem with them whatsoever. I'd welcome them into the conference with open arms. But their fans are really starting to piss me off, trying to question my credibility. Like, okay, I have no reason to lie. Why would I lie about that? That's all I got, man. That's all I got. I could rant on this for the next 15 minutes, but I really don't want to get worked up. Let me know your thoughts down below.